Plural noun, this is attached to a singular noun. Okay? Let's finish out our chart now. Let's try some of these. Okay, Phil?
When we get to the suffixes of these that have two syllables in them, the first of those two syllables will be the tonic. The first of the two syllables of the suffix.
No, it depends where the accent is. Hang on to that question, okay? And I think we'll illustrate it. Let's go through our thing. Susav now means what? His horses. And tell me how you know it's horses? Because it's the kind of suffix that goes on plural noun. Suseha. Her horses. Because it's the kind of suffix that goes on a plural noun. And what's characteristic about the kind of suffix that goes on a plural noun? Yod. It has a yod in it. All right? You can probably think of that yod. I'm not sure if this is correct or not. You can probably think of that yod as somehow a vestige or a piece or a similar ending to the im in the plural ending. By the way, the construct, divrei, like works of the law, ma'aseh, also had a yod in it. See? So a yod is characteristic of a suffix on a plural noun. All right? Phil, this should answer your question. If you have if I understood your question, if you've got two syllables of the suffix, where's the accent? And it depends. So here it's suseha, but we don't have propretonic problem anyway. What about divareka? What would translate? Your. How many yous are there? Is it you singular or you plural? It's you singular, but it's words plural. All right? Your words. All right? Now here the accent is on the first syllable of the suffix, which means our propretonic reduction is still in the propretonic syllable. Phil, that's kind of, I think, what you were asking about. How about divarayak? Kind of a funny sounding ending, but that's what it is. Divarayak is your singular, feminine, how many words? Plural. Right? All right. What about this one? This is the one place where we need some extra handling. Divarai. What's the problem with this suffix? There's also a yod in the singular. Right? This is the one place where you can't just say, if I see a yod, then I know it's the kind of suffix that goes on a plural noun. Because there's also a yod in the singular. The only difference between divarai and divari is the difference between an A and an I. All right? So here's one where you sort of have to pay attention. So divari would be my word. Divarai would be my words.
Would always be a papa?
Yes. All right, this is it.
How do you pronounce that papa?
I.
I.
It's a diphthong of sorts. I. Is that okay? Is that what you'd say? All right. Now that we have the ma-pick controversy. What? Phil, what do we got here? What do we have here? You tell me. What's happened in this form? What is this? First of all, you see the suffix ahem. Ahem means there. You know it's plural anyway. Okay? Now the word was divarim. I'm putting in the original vowels, right? This is confusing. I'm not doing this very clearly. The plural noun is divarim, right? When we took off the im and added ahem, this suffix has the accent on the end because you've got a full consonant, vowel, consonant, closed syllable. You don't have to know this, but it's kind of answering Phil's question. That makes this syllable the tonic, this syllable the pretonic, this syllable the propretonic, and what happened to this comets in the propretonic? Went to schwa. Now we've created a monster because we have a schwa next to a schwa, So now we invoke rule of Schwa, and this one goes to Herrick, and that's why we got the vowels that we got there. You can live without knowing that, believe me, but it does make sense and follows principles you already know. What's Su-Soth-They-Hem? Last piece of information. What's the new piece of information here? What's different about Su-Soth that we haven't seen anywhere else on this chart yet? Su-Soth is a feminine plural. Now what about the ending oath? In feminine plurals that end in oath, the oath is retained when we add suffixes. All right? This takes very little concern because there's no tricks involved. You're not losing anything. So when we have a feminine plural noun, the oath is retained. That means that in a form like this, you have two ways of knowing the noun is plural. You see a plural ending on the noun, oath, and you see a suffix that goes on plural nouns. So you shouldn't get these wrong. There's no trick here. Su-Soth-They-Ken would be what? Your horses, sorry, mares, female horses. What's Mal-Ke-Ken? Your meleks. Again, the segolets do tricks on you, right? But you'll see that this is the pronominal suffix that goes on a plural noun, and that's enough to tell you that the noun is plural. And finally, avothenu. Our. Now, avoth, remember, is masculine noun as father, but it's got the irregular feminine ending, and once you put an oath on something, it's there. So the oath is retained. Page 8.